Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Guys, yesterday I got a call from a lady, a very articulate, well-spoken lady. And she had some things to say that made my jaw dropped. She is one of those people who makes doing what I do extremely fulfilling. And when she said what she had to say to me, I had to tell her, I said, listen, here is what. I am going to put things over in your own words. I'm going to publish this, what you have to say, in your own words. Because this is something that you want to get out there. Because basically, the lady was trying to free her conscience. Because her conscience tell her that certain things are wrong. And the poor woman's conscience wouldn't let her continue to support certain efforts. So I told her, I said, listen, since I want to put this over in your own words, here is what you do. Just send me a voice note telling me exactly what your concerns are, your hopes and your fears and your aspirations are in regards to this matter of the PNP, the PNP women's movement also, and of your leader Mark Golding, and you're concerned about Miss Sandra Golding. And what I'll do, I will change your voice so that nobody will know it's you. And then I'll put it out there for my listeners to hear and hear what they have to say. Now, this lady has opened up her mind. She has bared her very soul, lay her very soul open for the world to see. And I would really love for anybody who cares to listen to what she has to say and then leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much. Now, over to the voice note she sent.
Hi, Mr. Advisor. I've been listening to you for quite some time now, quite a few months, maybe like 6, 7 months. And believe me, I like listening to you, but I didn't like listening to you. Let me explain. You said a lot of things that made me uncomfortable. You said some things that nobody else was willing to say. And the reason why these things made me uncomfortable was because they were true. When I look into myself, they were true. And I was stuck in my comfort zone and I was not willing to leave. Advisor, let me tell you, some months ago, you said something which has stuck with me ever since. I'm not even sure if any of your other readers or subscribers or viewers have ever seen it or taken it seriously. But you said, there is none so blind as those who refuse to see. And believe me, there was a lot of things you said which I didn't want to see or I didn't want to look into deeply. But the reason why I continued to listen is because you are the first blogger I've ever listened to that spoke from the heart, that spoke with your true colors, and you seem so very sincere, and you opened up your heart because when you talk from your heart. I don't think you have a script that you're reading from and saying what people like to hear. Say people might come at you and kill you, but you just not care, you just speak your truth. And I admire you for that. But I'm going to tell you the two things that mostly make me uncomfortable about you, regardless of what I just said. You say you do not You have not yet found enough evidence that a God exists. And I can beat you down on that. Because sometimes you even go as far, I think if I remember right, you went as far as saying God does not exist. And I have a problem with that because as a person who have grown up in a Christian home, in a Christian family, and who have given my life over to the Lord as a Christian, and I find my comfort in Christianity, and I've seen in my life where my God has done things for me, are I therefore cannot agree with you on that. Nevertheless, you were speaking your truth, and you were speaking with a great level of sincerity that I don't find anywhere else. And there are a lot of other things you said which I found interesting. Therefore, I continued to listen. Now, the second thing that I have a problem with you with is that you touch, you are always, I wouldn't say attacking, but you're always saying things against the leader of my party, Mark Golding. And in all honesty, I see where you're coming from. But at the same time, you have done about 3 or 4 what should I say, podcasts about Mark Golding, and none of them seem to be favorable to him. But you put out one the other day, and in this particular podcast, you said that he treats his wife a certain type of way. And honestly, let me tell you something. I don't want to admit it because it's hurt and sometimes the truth hurts, but me see where you come from, advisor, and you are right. I know it's like blasphemy to be saying this as a comrade because I love my party. I've always loved my party. I grew up in my party just as much as I grew up in Christianity, and it's the 2 things that I hold dear to my heart. Nevertheless, sometimes in life we have to face the truth, and we have to look at the man in the mirror and realize when we are wrong and when we need to really start put on our thinking cap and actually think, like come out of our comfort zone and really face some realities. The reason why I am calling you, or the reason why I have to say what I'm saying now, is because I was part of D, B, and G Daring, Bunting, and Golding back in the 90s, coming up to in the 2000s. And in all honesty, I won't tell you what role I play in it, but I was connected somehow to that organization, to that institution. And I never even knew that Mark Golding was married. I never knew. As a matter of fact, it was like 2 years after I was there that I saw a lady come there. I saw her about 2 or 3 times come there, stuck around for a short while, and then a taxi was called and she went in there. And he never introduced us to introduced her to us as staff. And he never introduced her to anyone, to the best of my knowledge. It's after I learned that she was his wife. Now, you had said in a podcast, and a lot of people gonna hate you for it, but you said that he kept his wife at his backyard, washing his dirty clothes and cleaning his dog teeth. Now, people seem to have been taking it to say that you are attacking the lady. But if people really listen to what you said, I don't see where you're attacking the lady. I see where you are actually speaking on her behalf. You see, and the main reason why I'm saying this to you now, advisor, is because I am a member of the PNP Women's Movement. Or should I say, because I don't even know if I'm an official member of the PNP Women's Movement no more, because the PNP Women's Movement is not even active. For the past few years, all they have is an AGM and that's it. And they call a few people and that's it. But I can tell you that the PNP Women's Movement is not active. And I am a supporter of women. I've always supported women my entire life. Because that is what Michael Manley, my original leader, used to do. And you said it, advisor. You said that Michael Manley, and you big up Michael Manley for the position he stood when he decided that women should lead. And I know the number of things, or the number of areas under Michael Manley where he pushed women forward. The records are there. No, when I look at my current leader, Mark Golding, he, a man of his stature, a man of his influence, and you are going to tell me, you open my eyes because it's like I never ever looked at it before. But can a man of that stature not even give his wife a little desk in DB&G where she can sit down and even make herself useful? A man of his stature? Now, I would be a hypocrite. I would be betraying women if I do not stand with you and said that my leader, Mark Golding, could have done more for his wife. There was countless areas that he could have pushed his wife to become a better person. And the fact that he saw no reason to uplift her. And when I see my fellow comrades going to sit down and support Mark Golding and show absolutely no support for a woman like Sandra Golding, to whom, as you say, he has kept his foot in her neck from the time she got pregnant until now, which is over 30 years. Now, what kind of a hypocrite would I be? What kind of a unconscionable person could I be if I do not support Mark Golding's wife? Why would I take side? Why should I take side? What moral grounds, what moral foundation would I stand on if I support Mark Golding and push his wife, as you say, under the bus? Remember this man them call VC, that singer? We don't hear about him anymore, but he sung a song say, by his deeds shall a man be known. Right? And if by Mark Golding's deeds, him can fix him own house, and he can show us by his deeds that he is in favor of women's rights by uplifting his own wife, then how can he then come to us and said he's in favor of women's rights? And the next thing is, how can we as women support a leader and expect him to give us rights as women and uplift us as a gender when he has proven that by his deeds he is not in support of women? Bear in mind that it has to be one or the other. It can't be that I'm supporting this my leader to become prime minister, and then in the same breath it is obvious that I'll have to throw his wife under the bus. That can be the alternative, because those would be the only two choices here that I'm faced with as a comrade. And when I see women, people in the women's movement who have ignored Sandra Golding's plight all this time, or, as I say, refuse to look at it because them blind them eye to it, after you bring it out, honestly, I can no longer do that. Tell you the truth, yes, since Peter Bunting and Mark Golding has taken over the PNP, the PNP women's movement has lost its influence, has lost its total traction. Now, what I would want, what I have to ask myself, first of all, and then I'm going to ask my fellow comrades, is this: if Mark Golding can treat his wife like this, then is this a person that you as a woman can actually lend your support? Is this somebody that you would want as your leader, one who undermines his wife to the extent that you have outlined? Well, she cannot drive a car. A man who can afford to buy 10, 15, 20 of the latest 2025 car and put down in her garage and give her, and she cannot drive. Him could open a little business and give her even a little boutique where she go sell some clothes in a Springs Plaza or any plaza. Him could have buy the whole plaza and make she just sit down there round the desk and just put her to sit down around the desk. She don't have to do nothing. She's just the manager. She can employ her, he can employ staff put there to run the business. Just make she look like she have some use. You can't just have her sit down in your backyard and then come and tell us how much you are a man who loves and appreciates women. Then if you don't push your own wife into something, how can we as women think that you'll be of any value to women when you come to power? Now, I am going to say this. A lot of women, and let me tell you how egregiously they have shoved Sandra Golding under the bus. They actually saying that it is Sandra Golding's fault for not upgrading herself. Now, tell me, how can you take an underage girl, get her pregnant, have her in your backyard, and don't enlighten her, make she even know that she have any use or any value, and then you turn around and blame her for being valueless or being not worthy of being anything more than catching a house color? She has remained a child, and she has remained uninspired because her husband did not try to enlighten her or move her up and make she feel that she have any better self-worth. Now, they don't see that. These women, how can you betray another woman because of politics? Tell you the truth, I can no longer do it. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. And I want members of the former PNP women's movement, because to me it doesn't really exist anymore in the real sense. I want them to stop and think. Is supporting Mark Golding worth pushing Sandra Golding under the bus? Another woman like yourself. Is this really what Michael Manley would have wanted you to do? It can't be Sandra Golding's fault. Sandra Golding needs to be inspired by her husband. Her husband is the head of the household. He is the leader. He should be the one who should have been ashamed that the woman had catch house color. And even if she didn't have any ambition, he should have been the one saying, no, me nah go have no wife wait stand in my backyard and wash my dirty clothes and clean my dog teeth, as you put it. Me want to see my wife out there looking lively, articulate, fine, and push her up front in everything. This is my wife. It is my duty to elevate my wife. And me not feel comfortable for my wife being a nobody. And me go push my wife. That's what he is supposed to do. So what does this tell you about Mark Golding as a leader? And what does that tell you about his ability to uplift the Jamaican women? Advisor, as I say, you're a person that I really, really look up to. And if the women in the PNP do not look into this, then I must say that they can't come and tell me that they are part of a women's movement. Because would be the purpose of having a women's movement if it's not to uplift women? And if you have women if you claim to be uplifting women, and you see your party leader as a man who has his foot in his wife's neck and never made any effort to uplift her, how can you then stand in the mirror and look at the person and proudly say, I am supporting women? Tell you the truth, advisor, I will never stop supporting the PNP because there's some navel string cut. But I want a better PNP. Let me make that clear. And I'm not supporting my God, regardless of what you say, because that's when my navel string cut. But at the same time, when you call out nonsense, I go agree with you. Because I know the sincerity of your heart. And I know you're not doing this out of gaining popularity. Because for you, as I say, it's just about the truth. And when you stand for truth, I stand with you. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Remember, you can't use my voice on this thing because I am still good with the PNP and I'm still among them. And I've got some really good comrade friends. And I really don't want this to cause a problem between me and them for the time being. So just know what you're doing. Thank you very much for your time, sir. And I look forward to continue listening to your very uplifting and enlightening podcast. Blessings.